Well, it's the 19th. I suspect we can have a nice cup of chai green tea. Now, as you can tell, I got this from the food pantry. If nothing else, by the Good Shepherd duct tape. I say duct tape, but branded tape on the box. So let's give her the old college try. Now, supposedly, this is, quote, smooth green tea infused with bold chai spices. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I was younger, I tried a couple different variations of chai tea. I didn't like it. Now, hopefully, now that I'm older, and my taste buds have pretty seriously matured, hopefully I'll like it. But, only one way to find out. Excuse me while I pause the camera real quick and get the tea going, and we'll find out. Actually, before we get into it, first things first, these are actually nice looking bags, and they say what the ingredients are. Green tea, cinnamon, ginger root, allspice, cinnamon, clove bud oil, and cardamom oil. Interesting. Really, as far as tea bags go, these look pretty standard. I've seen some that are more pyramid shaped, pretty good. And I've seen some that aren't really all that pyramid shaped. I've seen even oblong ones, circular ones, and a couple other shapes. I always prefer like just the classic tea bag look. But, hold on a second. Let's take you on the tea making journey for this kind of tea. Obviously, everything starts with the water cooler. And just gonna give her a go. Thankfully, this is nice hot water coming out of here. And yes, this is in fact a water cooler with a 5-gallon reservoir. So yeah, I usually don't run out of water. It is what it is. Mostly I'm just glad to have the water cooler because this thing came in really handy. Last power outage we had a couple years ago, because we a couple years ago had a power outage that lasted a couple days. And let me tell you, that really sucked. Because it was friggin' dead of winter, which means, because I was living in the camper at the time, I had to haul ass, make my way down to the house with like a blanket or two and a couple pillows, and I think genuinely it was like 2 or 3 days before we got power back. And man, it was an honestly very, very interesting time, because I don't really know if there was all that much snow on the ground. Like, I don't recall. I think there was some snow and ice, but around that time, which was kind of weird, the power outage, because this was before we took the wall there, so excuse the mess, I'm doing a little bit of moving shit around, but we were moving some shit around then too, but this was before we got the was turned into my little streaming habitat. Not even that I'm using it for streaming right now, but still, it was kind of an interesting thing, because we went from getting this very, just, well, I'm actually kind of just talking just to talk right now, but basically we had this from about that post, which was a wall, like those two posts were, up to there. I mean, you can see where the bits of wall were at one point, to here. Like, we had a bed, well, say a bed, but like a nice futon that went from here to here. Okay, that's actually a little inaccurate. It was more here to about, actually no, that took up a shitload of room is what I'm saying. But yeah, unfortunately, that was the only bed down here at the time, so I had to kind of sleep on one end, and sadly so did another family member, which, okay, just extremely awkward, but I dealt. That's probably where at least some of my knee problems came from, having to kind of just sleep extremely bunched up. Like, I was, like, let's pretend this sink right here is the edge of the bed, and let's pretend this counter here is about the room I had. So I had about 3 foot, give or take, of space both ways. Not even. And let me tell you, suboptimal because the bed was partially coming out from against the wall. I'd have to in the mornings lift up the futon mattress and push her back a bit after getting the blankets out from behind, and kind of go from there. Again, very suboptimal to say the least. Now, obviously, kind of persevered. But let me tell you, I was extremely glad to have power back. How do we even get on this subject? I don't even recall. But yeah, no, it's kind of interesting. I don't know why I brought that subject up. Whatever. Just nice to be able to chat about kind of stuff like that. Alright. I do suspect the tea is nice and steeped by now, though I question where the other bag went. Smells nice. You can smell the cinnamon, which is cinnamon flavor in this, so I can't say I'm unimpressed. I mean, let me give her another whiff. Yeah, smells nice. Yep, it's got that kind of chai flavor to it, which I've honestly never been that huge of a fan of. It also appears I pierced my tea bag, which is pretty good explanation as to why it's sinking to the bottom. Oh well. Let's give her another couple of sips. I think maybe the reason I brought up the subject, actually, is because it's a very wintry kind of flavor. And, this summer, at least here where I am in Maine, has so far been a kind of, more spring-like summer. Though in some parts they've been getting friggin' snow at times, and it's like, dude. It's nuts. I know I live up north, but I didn't realize I lived quite that up north, So yeah, it's been kind of interesting to see. Take another sip. It has a very wintry flavor. I know there is green tea in here, and you can kind of get that kind of throat feel where it's kind of rich. Some green tea is kind of rich and kind of leaves a weird feel in your throat. At least for me, it does. Not like a I'm allergic feel, but more, because it almost slides down in an oily kind of way. Don't know really how to describe it other than that. But the cinnamon and some of the other stuff, and this kind of cuts through that kind of oiliness, and this kind of, balances out, kind of leaves us in a very balanced flavor, though I wish they would have turned down the cinnamon flavor just a little bit, because it's almost overpowering. Though that could also be the cloves. I'm going to give this another sip. If I had to give this a rating, I would give this probably a 6 out of 10. I'm just not a huge fan of the chai flavor even now, but if I had to drink this, if someone was offering this, I wouldn't turn away and be like, oh, how dare you force chai in front of me, knave! Nah, I'd be like, alright, cool. Yeah, I'll take a cup of chai. Especially green chai. Yeah, not a problem. Thank you. But, if I was going out in the grocery store or in the food pantry or whatever, I would not friggin' pick this stuff up. Don't get me wrong. I see why people enjoy this and, why people are a fan of this flavor profile, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not really too much of a fan of the green teas as well, but this just ain't something that I'd go out of my way to drink. Oh well. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.